welcome back to BarSupials. You know what? I'm going to hand this one off to you to introduce. I
Good.
just seen it for the first time about 3 weeks ago.
All right. Yep. So let's get into this, man. Let's get into this battle right here, man. This is one of my favorite battles. Um, I was never really a big fan of either one of these guys. I'm still not the biggest fan of either one of these guys. But to me, this is what a battle is really supposed to be about. It's got a little bit of tension in there, but it's really about rhymes and about who's better and who's better on that day, right? So we're gonna get into this classic here. Hitman Holla versus A Verb, you know what I'm saying? It went down to St. Louis. Huge card, man,
Which is A Verb's home.
and Hitman's home too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, they're both at home.
Because I knew Verb was from St. Louis, but I'm listening to the crowd and I'm like the crowd's really behind Hitman.
What made it kind of crazy, and I think everybody was going for him, man, because he was the younger guy coming up, right? And maybe Averb has an aura about him. You know what I mean? Averb has an aura about him, but we can get into that, right? We can get into that. So right off the strip, again, who you got?
Me, I've got 3-0 Verb.
3
Clear.
He's got Verb with the 30.
Mhm.
There's what do you think about the battle in total as a whole?
Uh, well, I think there's a few things I had to watch. I've seen it, I guess, 3 times now, and because I didn't know the history, like obviously, I had to get it from the raps itself. That these guys were friends, and Verb was kind of like a big brother to Hitman, and but Hitman's and so that adds a crazy element to any story. It would be the same in MMA or anywhere where that kind of scenario happens. And so, yeah, that makes for a really good premise for a battle. And then I'm listening to it and I'm going, wow, this crowd is really behind Hitman. I would even say there are times they're gassing Hitman, and Verb is also. I feel I'm not even a fan of Hitman, but just because I don't know, I haven't followed his battles. Verb a little bit more, and I really like him because he has that trend of this kind of psychologist thing where he like breaks you down in a really interesting even like Freudian way. And like that, he's that's a good technique, and it's different every time for every person he's battling, but that it's a really cool element. And so like I'm definitely a Verb fan. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not actually a big Verb fan that way, but I totally understand what you're saying, and I understand why people appreciate Verb the way that they do. So with that being said, let's get into the first round here. Let's get into the first round. So you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
You go first. I'll say the little things I think about it maybe.
All right. So first round, we got Hitman going in. Hitman. Okay, so I will say out of the two styles, I prefer Verb style probably a little bit more than Hitman. Nothing to take away anything from Hitman. I just prefer Verb style of rapping more.
Mhm.
Uh, I will say that Hitman Holla has a stigma of only being good for the first round. This is something that they tag on him, and with some of his battles, you can kind of say that, but I don't think that's necessarily true in this battle. I think he did pretty good.
Mm.
So he was saying some stuff to Verb in there. I'm not gonna get into too many of the bars, but he was saying stuff to him. Like one thing that I noticed that he was calling him his real name, which is Chaz and stuff like that. I kind of like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah,
Know about thing. Said he's gonna put him in a leather bag and that kind of some kind of crazy stuff. Said that
yeah.
he was mixing up some bars in there where he said something like, he said he may run these streets, but you know he's gonna run into a roadblock, that kind of stuff. Hitman also did his remix um, in the first round there, and that went over really well with the crowd. I personally am not a huge fan on the remixes. Some of the times they don't make any damn sense to me, but you know, it's a crowd reaction kind of thing, so I understand why it's being done. He also said to him that he told Verb that he's marketable, but he's remarkable. I just like the little bit of wordplay there. Just I like that kind of small line, small little short things sometimes that mean a lot. So that was Hitman for the first. What do you think about his first round?
I thought it was okay, but I wasn't feeling it. Like there was a bar about how the stage was Verbs, but he took it like there was some good stuff in it, but there was nothing that I was dead for in it. Where like I took very few notes from Hitman, whereas for Verb I was like, so
He came out with a lot of energy though.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of energy, which is always appreciated. And that means that Verb somehow has to match that. So here we go with the master of that stuff. He called him an emotional 7-day minstrel mood, weak pencil move, having disloyal bitch made ass fool ass punk. Right after Joe, I said, when I heard that, I said, man, we're in for something here, you know? We're in for something here, because when you start compounding those insults, because I do that all the time, right?
Yeah.
But not that, right? I said for sure we're definitely in for something. So he was going in with a bunch of he had a little bit of an angle of okay, he was saying that you know, people are making out Hitman to be some kind of superhero. So what do you do with the superhero? You got to take away his powers. And so he started talking about how he's affiliated with a certain association, but you know it's kind of questionable. So he was saying that you know you keep screaming that you're from this one place when really you're from another place. So you should throw that up instead of acting like you're from another place. You know, this is a Verb getting at your character, something that Hitman didn't really do like quite as well, you know,
Yeah.
and it hit a little bit more because they're both at home, so everybody knows what they're talking about, right? The people on Hitman's side know Verb very well, and the people on Verb's side know Verb very well. In fact, everybody in the building knows everybody. So the fact that he would go there, I thought that really, and the fact that you could rhyme it too, right? I like that. And then he was telling him that he has the swagger of a guard dog. He said, "Mr. Ball Game, you're a ball hog," you know.
Yeah.
And that was also one of his best showtimes he put in there too. So I clearly had Verb for the first round. It wasn't even a question for me. Like he just did a way better job.
There was a bar about like, this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you.
Yeah,
And it's like that one killed me, because it's like, yeah, you know, the putting down your own dog, it's like you won't even know you don't even understand how much this hurts me to fuck you, buddy.
It was definitely a difference in like aura of the two of them, you know.
Well, yeah, because Hitman's comes with a lot of energy,
And
and
aggression.
yeah, and Verb has equal energy in a completely different way, and like at the end of his round blows him a kiss. Like he
Boy, right? You can definitely there's levels to it. You can see it there for sure. So yeah, like I said, clearly first round I get to Verb.
Yeah, there was one I liked, something about rewriting his life as a movie and putting a scary scream in every scene. Like, yeah.
And yeah, that was definitely a good first round. Second round now. So we had Hitman going in, and
Something about a parking lot.
but well, I do like okay. So this is the thing that I like about this battle here is that it's 3 complete rounds from both battlers, and you can tell that it's structured for 3 rounds. They're saying something different in the first than they are in the third, and they're coming with a different angle for each one. You might hear them go off track slightly to rhyme or to make jokes, but they're definitely trying to get at a point. And this is where Hitman is showing that in the second round. He's talking about what you're saying about what happened in the parking lot. So apparently, there's some rumor. I guess there's a tape even of a Verb getting jumped in the parking lot. Yeah. So I guess they like to use that against him, right?
Mhm.
They like to use that against him. And I think he actually addressed that too in his second round. But anyways, um, he mentioned about him getting hit on camera. And the other thing that Hitman touched on was a Verb working in the mall. So there's also that stigma of or rumor of a Verb working in a strip mall selling earrings and stuff like that, where he's supposed to be on stage acting like a gangster and stuff like that. But locally, he's known, and at least this is what they're saying. Like it's like Arsenal being a bus driver type thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Well,
it's
yeah, but it's funny because Verb rebutted all of that stuff.
okay.
Okay, I'll let you. Sorry, I'll let you keep going.
No, no, I'm through with it right there. So I thought that that was actually a pretty strong round for Hitman. You know what I mean? I thought that was so that to me that that he's only good for one round thing. It applies, but it just depends on where, I guess. Right? What do you think about? Do you want me to go to Verb?
Uh, yeah, go to Verb.
So like I said, that was a good round for Hitman. Um, Verb now. Verb was just on some other in his second round. He just did some more real legendary stuff. Like I won't even. He did some legendary stuff in there. So his wordplay was really good. He was saying that telling him, man, you running with all these people, you know, we're two different types of players. I'm like Barry Sanders. You're like Emmett Smith. You run behind all your block. You run behind your block. You run behind who you know and stuff like that. So it's like a double entendre. Good play on words right there. And he was calling them Nelly's little man, Murphy Lee. He was calling Nelly's little man. So he's like, yo, you're running under all these people. Like, you're acting like a captain, but really you're running under the little man's little man. I just thought that was funny. Then he did the Mortal Kombat.
The cheat code.
ABABCABB. Put blood in the game. So that was just classic and legendary.
Yeah, I think it's a generation because you would have to have punched one of those in to get how good that bar is.
You know what? Yeah, right. You'd have to actually know about that, right?
Yeah.
The blood.
I played 3 or 4 games as a kid where you'd get the little magazine, you'd buy the magazine to get the cheat codes. Yeah.
That was the first time I've ever heard that, and it was executed really, 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 really well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I thought that was also a phenomenal round from Verb. So far we have 2 very high level rounds.
Okay, but then the thing, because he in Hitman's round, he came kind of clowning Verb for working a job and all of that, and then Verb came back and clowned him for clowning Arsenal about working a real job, and
Yeah,
that I thought was like that on a lot of levels. He came his kind of, even though they were written, they were rebuttaling what Hitman was saying, and so that was really good work. Yeah,
yeah. Some counter writing, eh?
yeah.
That's that 8 mile shit. I know what you're gonna say. I am a this, I am a that,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's like 8 mile shit, right? But his
Well,
work.
that's actually yeah, that's it, and I can't remember now if sorry, I'm mistaken. That was Verb's third round where he was talking about the, like, you're talking about Arsenal and his school bus, but you and all your homies are on a school field trip. That was his third. Yeah.
Third, yeah, well, yeah, that was his third. So we're getting. Let's jump into the third now.
Sure. Yeah.
Two high level first and second rounds. So round three, I didn't have too much for Hitman here,
No, me neither.
and I don't think it's because I've already seen it and I know what's about to happen. There just wasn't too much in there. I think it was touching back on things. Again, he called him Chaz, which I liked, right? He called him out his name, called him his real name in the battle. He brought up the parking lot incident, and he was rhyming really slick too. You know what I mean? It wasn't a bad round. You know what I mean? Anybody else could have died up against that shit, to be honest with you, right? At that time. I don't know about the rappers today, but at that time, anybody could have, like, at least got hit up pretty bad. But then we got Verb's third, man. Verb's third. And the luck of him to go last. So his third round was crafted and executed on a level of, it's a way above average, I'd say. And it's, you'd have to look pretty deep into this type of battle rap style to find a third round or any round as good as this third round, period. So the way he set it up was he was very poetic in the beginning, which is what I like. You couldn't really see his angle of where he was going. He just kind of set it up really nice. So he was just giving him some rhymes, just telling him, he has to kill him beautifully without leaving without a bruise on me.
I wrote that one down too. Yeah.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, it's not even that good when you write it out like that, but when it worked perfectly. Yeah.
It's the timing of it too. Third round, right? You could have used that in the first too, right? That would have been nice, but to leave, you have to leave like on a poetic note, so to speak. So when he dropped that, I was like, oh, okay, let's see where we're going with this thing. So then he starts talking about, like you said, he was saying you're running around with all these kids looking like you're going on a field trip type of thing, and it's kind of true. Like if you're a man, you're running with your wife, you're running with your family. You're not running with a bunch of strangers type of thing. You know what I mean? So, or people that you know from your neighborhood type of thing. So it's kind of funny how, and it hit really well in the building and on camera too. He said something like, "We never seen or heard you a swinger." You call him Will Smith. We never seen or heard you a swinger. You call him Will Smith. Thought that was dope, right? I thought that was just the way he set that up was just so nice. So he did all of that.
I love Will Smith though.
He is right. So he did all of that before he gets into how can we put this, man? How can we put what he did there? I don't know. That's just like talking to like telling a friend the truth.
There was some pretty heavy stuff in it. Okay, so this is the round where the quit clowning people for working jobs.
Yeah.
You're a house Negro, I'm a field Negro. That part was like heavy, and that for me was the rounding of his third round, because the way he set it up, you think you're playing the game, you think you're hard. Life's not really like that.
Right.
And that for me was a very heavy round, and that's where Verb's kind of psychology, and if he wants to, he can really, I've seen him come on stage.
That shit is roses and bubbles.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, bro? What do you mean? What are you talking about, G? Then then he starts breaking it down. I'm like, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah. And then when you have to, because I don't remember, he yells at he yells at, go for it, tell it, because that part is fucked.
So he's there saying, so basically at the beginning of this scheme, he said, "Yo, your mom loves you, but your dad doesn't love you." And he's like, "The reason why your dad doesn't love you is because he never told you this." He's like, "Yo, I put you in the best schools, I put you in the best shoes, you know what I'm saying? I stepped to your mom with a chess move, so you wouldn't have to do all this and do all of that." And he's like, "This is how your father would talk to you if he loved you." Then he screamed out to somebody. He said, "Big Gerald." Big Gerald is actually Hitman's dad. That's his father. So he said, "Big Gerald." And then
Yeah.
it's like, "That's the way you talk to your son." And it's like, that's really, yeah. Oh, that's really his father. He's really telling his dad that's how he should have talked to this kid on stage. So it leaves that bit of a jaw opener.
You have to go and watch this battle for that like every verb round there is great, and that moment, like Thor's thunder there.
I'd have to say that is probably, I'd give it to that in the Lux round, man. Like I'm torn between those two. I won't give it to Lux completely because I've seen this round, right? And it's just a masterful, masterful, masterful round. So total score, I'm gonna give. I want to give Verb the 30, but I'm gonna give Hitman the second. I'm gonna give Hitman the second because I thought his second was actually better than Verb's, and I just thought that totally overall, Verb was just at that time just way better, way better, just more experienced, more polished, better things to talk about. Any other night against anybody else, Hitman could have maybe won that battle. You know what I mean? And because the round I'm giving him is shaky, it's an edge. It's not a clear second. It's an edge. He edged that round. So that being said, man, Verb is a master. And I'm like I said, I'm not a really particularly fan of any of these guys, but I can appreciate good work. So I gotta say, out of all the battles, this is probably it's got to be in my top five for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't watched it till you mentioned it, and I'm glad you did, because now I have the origin of that's how you talk to your son,
Yeah.
and a few other things. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that one. So that's and what? Sorry, that was a Summer Madness battle, right?
No, I think this was an event. I think this is a St. Louis event actually.
Oh, right, yeah. Right,
Actually,
okay.
because Verb is always crying about going to New York and having to battle them. So Smack was like, "Oh yeah, okay, let's pull up in St. Louis," and they did it. They did it on this huge, huge, huge card. I think it was probably one of the biggest ones before Summer Madness too. So yeah, it's a good look, man.
Good. So that is Hitman versus Verb, classic battle.
Yes, it was.
Right.